No more fooling around. It's time for me to achieve my ultimate form!
Good afternoon, Jank enthusiasts! I'm MBT, and this is 10-minute testing. Well, it's now time. The PURRely sweep has manifested, and for our third and final look at the Fwuffy Widdle boys, we'll be examining the deck in its most powerful form yet, at the peak of its evolutionary chain. Presenting, for the final time, PURRely. So here's the list. As always, I'll give you a background about the archetype, a little bit of a discussion about what I hope the deck can do, and of course, the card by card. But first, this video is sponsored by Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck. Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck is the #1 place to go if you need a pack simulator, a card database, or want to read a wealth of strategy articles. They also post breakdowns and lists from every major TCG and Master Duel tournament, including the Master Circuit series. Give them a look at www.ygoprodeck.com. With that, let's peek at PURRely. PURRely is a series of dogs, or cats, depending on who you ask, that are just too silly to have ever heard of hard once per turns. These EV ripoffs come in two flavors. Their main deck monsters, which add more of their spells to hand, and their quick play spell cards called memories. Each PURRely has a way to reveal or target a memory card and transform into an associated extra deck monster, with the eventual goal of ranking up into X-PURRely Noir. This is made easier by the new card released in Dune, PURRely Noir, which is the doggy form of Sleepy Memory. With that, let's get into the card by card. We've got 3 copies of PURRely, which, if normal or special summoned, allows you to excavate the top 3 cards of your deck and add an excavated PURRely spell trap to your hand, and put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. Once per turn during your main phase, you can reveal a PURRely quick play spell in your hand, a special summon an Xyz monster from your extra that mentions that card by using this card as material. PURRely, if normal or special summoned, can add a PURRely card from your deck to your hand, except a quick play spell, and can target a PURRely quick play spell in your graveyard, special summon an Xyz monster from your extra deck that mentions this card by using this card you control as material. Thankfully, this one has hard onces on it. After that, we've got some spells. 3 copies of My Friend PURRely. You can pay 500 to reveal 3 PURRely cards from your deck, except My Friend PURRely, and your opponent randomly picks one of them for you to add to the hand, then shuffles the rest into your deck. If your PURRely Xyz monster leaves the field because of an opponent's card, you get to refill your hand with quick plays from your grave. We've got 3 copies of Sleepy Memory, which, like all the quick plays, can discard a card to special a level 1 PURRely from the deck, and allows you, if part of the material of an Xyz monster, to draw a card during the standby phase. Because this is an inherited effect that can be stacked multiple times on each individual monster, and because you can rank up said monster to trigger them again, you can expect to draw between 4 and 6 cards by using this card in your standby. We've got 1 copy of PURRely Delicious Memory. Of course, this was limited on the most recent list. Choose a monster on the field that can't be destroyed by battle, discard a card, special summon a PURRely from deck, and it gives the monster that it's under 300 attack and defense for each material attached to it. Happy Memory gives your monster the ability to attack monsters a number of times each battle phase up to the number of PURRely Happy Memory attached to it, and Pretty Memory allows you to send another card you control to the graveyard, then target a card your opponent controls and attach it to this card as material. Finally, we've got 2 Stray PURRely Street, which prevents your opponent from targeting PURRely monsters you control with card effects the turn they're special summoned, and it also, during the end phase, allows you to target a PURRely Xyz monster on the field to attach a PURRely quick play from your deck or graveyard to that monster as material. Finally, we've got PURRely, which allows you to target a PURRely Xyz monster you control, special summon from your extra deck a PURRely Xyz monster with a different rank by using that target as material, but return it to the extra deck during the end phase of this turn, and it can be banished from the graveyard to target up to 3 PURRely monsters from your graveyard and shuffle them into the deck. And PURRely, which allows you to target a PURRely Xyz monster you control, special summon a level 1 PURRely monster from your deck, negate its effects, then special summon from your extra deck a PURRely Xyz monster with the same rank but a different attribute than the targeted monster by using that special summon to monster as material. Realistically, I think you're supposed to use this to get like a beauty negate on your opponent's turn, but I'll just level with you. I don't think this card is very good. After that, we've got 3 copies of Nibiru the Primal Being, 3 copies of Ash Blossom, 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity, 3 Book of Moon, 2 Triple Tactics Talents, and 3 Infinite Impermanence. In the extra, we've got the real haymaker of the deck, 2 copies of Zeus, 1 copy of Downward Magician. Let's run through the PURRely Xyz. Beauty, once per turn, can target an effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects till the end of the turn, and this is a quick if this card has a Pretty Memory as material. Then up to thrice per turn, when you activate a PURRely quick play spell, you can attach that card in the field to this card as material, then change the battle position of 1 card your opponent controls. We have 1 copy of PURRely Happiness at the end of a damage step. If this card battled, you can add a PURRely card from from your deck to your hand, and if it has Purrely Happy Memory as material, you can have the attack of a face-up monster on the field up to thrice per turn. When you activate a Purrely Quick Play spell card, you can attach that card on the field to this card as material, then return a spell trap your opponent controls to the hand. 2, a Purrely Noir. Once per turn, you can discard a card, target a card your opponent controls, or up to 2 if this has Sleepy Memory as material, return that card to the hand, and then up to thrice per turn, when you activate a Purrely Quick Play spell card, you can attach that card to this card on the field as material, then set a Purrely trap directly from your deck. 1 copy of Purrely Plump. Once per turn, you can target up to 2 spell traps in the grave, attach them to this card as material. It's a quick effect if it has Delicious Memory as material, and up to thrice per turn, you can attach a Resolving Purrely Quick Play spell card to this card as material, then banish a monster on the field until the end phase, and 2 copies of EX Purrely Noir, which can be summoned by using a rank 2 monster you control with 5 or more materials, and it's unaffected by your opponent's activated effects while it has 5 or more materials. Not a once you can detach 2 materials from this card, target a card your opponent controls or has in their graveyard, put it on the bottom of the deck. It's a quick effect provided it's got a level 1 Purrely in there somewhere. We're also playing Slacker Magician and Princess Sprite alongside Anima and Azalea. In the side, we've got 3 copies of Droll and Lockbird, 3 Ghost Bell, 2 Lightning Storm, and a Feather Duster, triple Dark Ruler No More, and triple Cosmic Cyclone. So with that, let's jump into the games. Our first match is up against Altergeist, and I should probably make a video on this deck. The thing is, it's just another one of those trap decks that now has become a monster combo deck a la Trap Tricks, and I can't tolerate those. Our opponent's going first, which should prove problematic. They're going to begin with a copy of Pot of Extravagance, draw a couple of cards, then normal summon a Marionetter, walk into an Infinite Impermanence, set 1, and pass. Cool strategy. We draw for turn, and that's a pretty good one. We're going to begin by normal summoning a Purrely. That's going to be met with a Personnel Spoofing. They are going to shuffle back a card, grab themselves a copy of Pook, and then at resolution, they will go ahead and summon that Multi-Faker from hand. Multi-Faker is going to summon from deck a copy of Silquidius, and then to ensure that none of my good cards get bounced, let's just activate Stray Purrely Street. We're going to go for a Purrely here to go into Plump. We'll go for Sleepy Memory, and then we'll go for Plump as well in order to get a bunch of material under it. We'll summon from deck a copy of Purrely and activate that effect to get my friend Purrely. They're going to Silk on activation, which is not correct. We'll just fire it again. We'll pay 5 here and reveal 3 from deck, and we're going to end on a Happy Memory. This allows us to go Lily into a Noir with 2 materials, and Happy Memory sucked up by the Plump in order to get that Marionetter off the field. Finally, we'll go for a Purrely Noir to put all the remaining cards back into the hand and go for X Purrely Noir for a fair amount of damage and a monster that demands immediate attention. We'll pass back to our opponent, then at end step equip a Sleepy from deck. Then in standby, we get to draw a lot of cards, 1 off Noir, 1 off X Purrely Noir. We're going to activate the effect of X Purrely Noir in order to get that Marionetter off the field and walk directly into a Dark Ruler that does not affect the monster that actually matters. We're going to go X Purrely here, targeting the Haunted Rock. It does shuffle it back in, but they do still get to resolve the effect of Multi-Faker, which is frustrating. We'll go for Ash Blossom on the Multi-Faker. They have the Pook, so they can go into Hextia, although we can Noir the Hextia back because this card's crazy. They'll set 1, and then at end step will trigger the effect of the Street and draw for turn. We should be able to wrap this up. We'll activate the effect of the Purrely Noir to target the remaining cards in the field. 1 is Personnel Spoofing, not even worth an activation of the X Purrely Noir. Not that we could if we wanted. There's not even a monster under it. They're going to go Multi-Faker into Silquidius. Now, theoretically, the X Purrely Noir could be targeted here, and they go for it. Fun fact, you should not be doing this if my friend Purrely is on the field, because it means that now my grip is once again full, and we could go for a huge X Purrely Noir again. We're going to go for Purrely here, go into Happiness, use my friend Purrely to reveal 3 from deck, and then we'll get a Pretty Memory, activate the effect of the Happiness upon activation of Delicious, go into Purrely, trigger the effect of the Purrely in order to recycle this copy of Sleepy Memory under another X Purrely Noir, and our opponent's just going to scoop it up. Our second match is up against Live Twin Runic Sprite, and this time we are going first. We're going to begin with a copy of Pretty Memory, gaining 1,000 life points, and getting ourselves a copy of Purrely from deck to field. We'll activate the effect of the Purrely and proceed to main phase 1. We're going to go for the My Friend. We'll activate the effect of My Friend Purrely and find Sleepy Memory, sure. We'll go for a Purrely afterwards and find off the top. Good kitty, good kitty. Ugh, bad kitty. All right, we'll fire off the Sleepy Memory and summon a Purrely from deck. This one has to hit. Good kitty, good kitty. That's kind of a hit. Okay, we're going to go for Princess Sprite. This has to hit. Ooh, Shirley is really not what we were looking for. Okay, this is a pretty weak end board, but, you know, there's a lot of opportunities to turn this around because we're going to be using Stray Purrely Street to get a couple of draws off of this Purrely Noir. We're going to go for it here. They're going to chain the effect of Flashing Fire. We're going to change Shirley here in order to get a Purrely from deck into a Happiness. And then at point of resolution, we're going to draw a card and then activate the effect of My Friend Purrely and the effect of Stray Purrely Street, so we get pretty much everything back. We're also going to go for Purrely as well and the effect of X Purrely Happiness, at which point our opponent's going to try and negate negate it, only to find that Stray Purrely Street is going to prevent them from doing so. We do draw a card. It's Nibiru. That's going to go hard. Our opponent goes red and carrot. They're going to go for Leela here. We're going to activate Book of Moon, targeting the sprite red. They let it resolve, and down comes Nibiru. We'll summon a token to our opponent's side of the field, and unfortunately for our opponent, that should be all she wrote, because we were able to add all of our quick plays back to our hand by virtue of my friend Purrely. What a good little friend. They're going to go for Flashing Fire on our token here to try and blank this activation, but unfortunately it doesn't do work. We're going to go for Leap as well to shuffle all the Fluffy Widdle boys back into the deck before beginning our combo. We're going to go for Happy Memory for PURRely, trigger the effect of the PURRely for a Purrely. We're going to trigger the effect of my friend. That's going to grab from deck to hand a Happy Memory. We're going to go for PURRely to go into a Plump and Happy Memory, chaining the effect of Plump to attach it underneath to banish that token forever. Next, we'll go for Plump to attach a whole bunch of stuff under it and prepare for a really big X Purrely Noir. We're going to go for the E Purrely Noir here and take that last remaining monster before overlaying for a big old boy. As we go to resolve the effect of Purrely, our opponent says, I've seen enough. Let's just call it. So it's time for game 3, and you know what that means, a best of 3 versus meta. Our opponent's playing Kashtira, and this hand does not look very good. In draw phase, we're going to go for Pretty Memory. That's going to gain us both 1,000. We'll go for Purrely. We'll activate Purrely here, and it gets hit with an Infip. That is really bad news. Okay, we're going to spend our normal on PURRely. We'll activate the effect. That's going to grab us a My Friend Purrely. We're going to go for My Friend. We'll activate the effect. 500 off to a Sleepy Start. We will overlay for Beauty using the effect of Lily. Then we'll activate Sleepy Memory, chaining the effect of Beauty so we can draw a card in standby. We'll do just that and find another Sleepy. Okay, this is going to be a rough turn. Our opponent's going to go for a Unicorn. Afterwards, we're going to go for a Rise Heart effect in order to banish a Fenrir, and then Kashtira Birth in order to bring that sucker back. That Fenrir at least gets checked by the Beauty, but unfortunately they do have pretty much everything else. We're going to Ash Blossom the Kashtira Theosis. At resolution, they're going to go for the effect of Unicorn and the effect of Fenrir. We can negate one of them, but not the other, which means they can go to combat and clean up the entire board. God, they're even playing around Nibiru. Maybe I shouldn't have even ashed that Theosis. At least we could have fired off the rock. Now we have to contend with a Rise Heart, but shouldn't be too difficult to do with this grip. We're going to go for Street, then afterwards we're going to go for the effect of My Friend Purrely, and they a Rise Hearted. Wow, that I don't know if I would have done that. We're going to go for a Pretty Memory here, and afterwards we're going to summon a Purrely from deck. We'll activate the effect of the Purrely, they'll activate the effect of Rise Heart, and unfortunately they also get the Birth here in order to take a bunch of the cards from our graveyard and banish them face down. We do find the third Sleepy Memory, 3 of a kind in the grip here, but doesn't really matter because they're all just so good at being fodder for each other. We're going to go for the effect of Noir in order to bounce the remaining monsters, and then Sleepy Memory and Noir so we can get in for one more material on a Zeus. We're going to go for the Zeus activation here, eating the board and passing back to our opponent. As you can see, they don't have a lot in the grip. They're going to activate Birth and then try to activate the effect of Birth, at which point we will Zeus so we can clean up the field without worrying about the third Birth in hand. We draw for turn, and that is not good. We'll go to the battle phase, hit in for 3k, set 1, and pass back to our opponent, but it's going to be difficult for them outside of a Fenrir to find anything unless they rip the Prosby. They go for 3 here. I don't know why they go for 3. Why would you go for 3? You have your entire extra to live for. They're going to go for Rise Heart, banishing Scare Cash, and pass turn. Yeah, absolutely. And PURRely off the top. Things are looking fantastic. We'll go Permit Lily and eat a Droll Lockbird. That's fine. We can still, at minimum, go into a Noir, activate My Friend Purrely, and go to the battle phase. We get in for 15 and then pass back to our opponent. They draw for turn. It's another Prosby, and they're going to once again do it for 3. Just pull the trigger. The game's almost over. They don't find anything, and as a result, they surrender. So it's time for game 2, and ooh, that's a nice hand. Except for the evenly matched. What's that doing in there? They're going to begin with a copy of Wraith Soth. That's going to grab them from deck to hand a Unicorn. Unicorn comes down. They'll activate the effect in order to grab from deck to hand a Theosis. Then Theosis targeting the Unicorn to grab a Fenrir. From here, they can activate the effect of the Fenrir for a Rise Heart. And then throwing caution to the Moonlight Chill, they're going to just go ahead and make this copy of Shangri-Ira into Rise Heart. They're going to go for the Rise Heart effect using Shangri-Ira to lock a zone and Big Bang targeting the Shangri-Ira to cycle that Fenrir. Afterwards, they're going to overlay for a Shangri-Ira and a copy of a Rise Heart. They'll set 2 and pass. Well, we do have the Imperm for the Rise Heart, which is something, I suppose. Afterwards, we're going to activate the effect of the Shangri-Ira and eat another one of our zones. We are not working with much. We're going to go for Delicious Memory here and try and resolve the effect of the Purrely before there's something like a Fenrir on field, only to walk headfirst into an Infinite Impermanence. Okay, in standby, they're going to go for the effect of the Shangri-Ira and the effect of the Wraith Soth to clear the Purrely off our side of the field. We're going to go for HFD, which eats out a Cosmic Cyclone. I don't know why they activated it, just to frustrate us, I suppose. And then afterwards, we're going to go for My Friend Purrely. My Friend Purrely is going to grab a copy of Sleepy. Sure, we're going to go for PURRely here, targeting targeting the Delicious to go into Plump, but unfortunately all that does is fiend out the Fenrir. But because we have the My Friend PURRely on field, we can at minimum cycle one of these cards back to hand and then use it as the cost for Sleepy. All we need to get to a Zeus line is for this PURRely to resolve and find a card, and bad kitty, come on. So it's time for that all-important Game 3, and I was wondering if our big shifty friend would be making an appearance today. Okay, well, this hand looks really good until he comes down. We're going to chain the effect of Happy Memory to try and get one of these cards into the graveyard, but unfortunately the Ash Blossom makes quick work of that, which means all three of them are going to the Banished Zone. We're going to go for PURRely here for a My Friend. Unfortunately, by playing around roll and doing this in the draw phase, we've also cut off our ability to do Triple Tactics talents. We're going to go for My Friend, then normal summon this PURRely. We're going to activate the effect of the PURRely. We are finding stuff. That leap is actually pretty strong. And then afterwards, we'll activate the effect of the PURRely to go into a Beauty and pass turn with the leap set. Our opponent will proceed directly to the battle phase, activate Evenly Matched, and walk directly into an X-PURRely Noir. Unfortunately, this X-PURRely Noir has 3 materials, not 5, so it is vulnerable to infinite impermanence, and down comes Wraithsoth. They're going to go for Unicorn effect to grab Theosis, Theosis to grab a copy of Fenrir, and Fenrir to grab a copy of Riseheart. Have you seen this combo before? This time playing around with the Ghost Mourner, we will activate the effect of the Riseheart, and then overlay for an Riseheart. We're going to banish the Noir, activate the effect of the Riseheart, attach a copy of Theosis, and pass turn. Unfortunately, that is not going to do it, and the preparations in end phase will seal the deal. So we're back with the deck, and I hate playing this thing. It's too hard. Let's do the pros and cons. First, the pros. 1. The new Xyz. PURRely Noir introduces a much more linear game plan for the deck, allowing you to focus on setting up Yeep, My Friend, and multiple draws from just 2 quick play spells. It also provides spell speed 1 removal options to break boards. 2. This deck is incredible on turn 3, being able to amass a huge amount of resources for the crackback with the 2 to 4 draws from Sleepy Memory, the recovery of My Friend, and forcing the opponent to play through 2 quick effect shuffles. Speaking of, 3 is X-PURRely Noir. It's an extremely powerful boss monster even now, with a shuffle effect devastating many decks immediately. And the cons. 1. Book of Moon. Book of Moon and Book of Eclipse are completely devastating to the deck, turning off most, if not all, of your game plan. 2. Hand traps. The deck can rarely put up a board of anything into 1 or 2 hand traps. Imperm on PURRely can ruin a turn extremely quickly, and Dimension Shifter is a heavy hit to your resource management and game plan. Frequently, it leaves you with very little recovery and sometimes denies you the combo completely. And 3. The deck struggles to go second into heavier combo boards. Due to needing cards in hand to discard to keep going, some of the heavier negate decks like Monadium can eat up all your cards before you're even able to land a PURRely on field. Overall, the deck has some weaknesses, but it's definitely one of the best strategies in the upcoming format. Thanks so much for watching. A huge shout out to all of my patrons, but specifically Alex Perea, Allison Elliott, Ben Mizera, Brett Henry, Bizin Queen, Chaotic Meatball, Kristen Malone, Da Bears, Darkmaster Zork, Derpin Dragon, DJ Elephant, Executive Slifer, Gabe the Green, John Piet, Jordan Kuntz, King Magic Ruler, Knight Mary, Legal Rights, Lockstone, Luis Hernandez, Materiality, Matthew M. Derezzo, MBT Play Madolce, Melfi Stan, Mike Carlotti, NH6574, Puffins of Doom, Rose Lapine, Solar Flare, The Hollow King, Tootsie, Troy Says By Erasure is Gay, Vincent Storm, Who's Nick, Wonder Waffle, Yuki, and Yor. I couldn't have done it without you.